part of our Bush Kindy program, we take children to a beyond space, which is outside our kindy boundary. It's about 5 minutes from Christabrook Kindergarten and to a place called Bowman Park. We have absolutely loved engaging in the natural environment with the children. There has been so many opportunities for them to develop their dispositions for learning and to embrace the disciplines of STEM. There certainly has been some challenges around setting up our Bush Kindy program. It wasn't a snap decision that we made overnight. It was a work in progress over a period of 2 years to show how we value our families as authentic partners in their children's learning. We engage them in a community risk-benefit analysis. Whilst we recognise that their concerns were valid and very important, we also kept our focus on the benefits and advantages of taking children into that beyond space. We could see the opportunities for STEM learning and to be able to engage children in those rich, authentic learning experiences that we may not have necessarily got at our regular kindy. Whilst our educators were very supportive of adopting Bush Kindy as part of our regular kindy program, some of our educators admitted that they were risk adverse and felt outside their comfort zone by taking children to this space. As a staff team though, we identified that it was a greater risk by not taking children to that space and by staying at our regular kindy inside our comfort zone. Through a critical reflection process, educators were able to identify language that was actually going to support and enable children in that environment. So rather than telling children to stop or to come back, educators were using language that enabled children to think for themselves and to think critically about how they might solve problems or to look for solutions around challenges that they were presented with. So an example of this is when we were crossing the creek area, the rocks were very slimy. So rather than telling children to come back because the rocks were dangerous, they were slippery, educators were able to pose that to children in a way that enabled the children to think, how could they or what could they do to cross the creek so that they remain safe? And children were able to engage and to be able to self-manage that risk and walk very capably through that creek area. So being brave was an underlying theme as part of our Bush Kindy, and it continues to do so. We ask the children to be brave to climb that tree or to cross that creek area or to climb those hills when the going gets tough or there's challenges presented to them. We ask our parents to be brave to allow their children to make mistakes in those environments and to be able to learn from them. And we ask our educators to be brave to support the children in this environment to enable the change that we're trying to create. STEM learning still can happen at our regular kindergarten, and I'm not one to say that STEM learning only exists in that natural environment. However, I feel that our Bush Kindy enables children to engage in their STEM learning in a really rich and authentic way, giving them opportunities that they may experience in that natural environment that they wouldn't necessarily get inside our kindergarten.